poor personal hygiene significantly increases the risk of infections, diseases, and social issues. Bad breath and body odor can often scare friends away. Hello televiewers, good evening and thank you for joining us on this Friday's live session of Issues on Divine Mercy Radio Television. Issues is a 1-hour program on DMR TV where we bring on board our panelists to discuss real life concerns, and today we take on a topic which is rarely being talked about, and we are going to look at the dangers of not respecting personal hygiene, or the dangers of neglecting personal hygiene. Stay with us as we run through the program. I am Fomucha Mirabel, inviting you to participate as the program unfolds. Our lines are always open. You can reach us on Facebook, or you get to us directly on WhatsApp using the number which shall be displayed on the screen. We shall be right back after the break. Wonderful people of Divine Mercy Radio Television, it is an honor and a privilege again to be with you this Friday evening, where we are discussing on the dangers of neglecting personal hygiene. And sometimes it becomes so difficult to talk to someone about it, to tell someone that, hey, you're having a bad breath, to tell someone that, hey, you're having body odor. It is very challenging to voice out these words, but how do we go about it so that we avoid getting to that point of having bad breath, body odor, and other risk or other consequences that comes alongside poor personal hygiene? Join me to welcome our panelists. Today we have Mami Shira. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Mamira, Masira, Nitego. Good afternoon, televiewers. I greet all of you. Wish you for a very fruitful Lenten season, because I enjoy it so well.
Thank you so much, Mami, for joining us today. Mr. Mbatibo, how are you doing?
I'm doing perfect. Good evening, Mimi.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the program. And my personal person, Madam Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, Madam Mira. Good evening, televiewers. Good evening to all the CWA Mama who are presently having their 3 days seminar at Catholic University. We say welcome and wish you all a wonderful stay
in Boya.
In Boya.
And in CUIB.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for those greetings on their behalf. I'm saying thank you. Okay, now let us take on our topic of discussion. First of all, let me know if this topic is relevant, Madam Sarah.
It is very, very important, Madam Mira. It is very, very relevant, because these days people do not know how to approach persons and discuss things like that with them, which is very important. If you are really my friend, at least you should know how to discuss this with me and to help me keep my body clean and to help me maintain a good personal hygiene. Topic like this is very important because people are scared. People don't know how to go about it. For I think that it is important we discuss about it, and then we struggle to discuss and we teach the public on how to go about things like this and how they can approach people to discuss and to tell them that, please, I think that you can do this to stay healthy. I think that you can do this to keep your body clean.
Thank you so much. I will talk to the man in the house, because I remember when I told him that, hey, we have to discuss on this program today. He said, Mimi, I think we have to change the topic. I said, no, Tebo, we are not changing this topic. We have to talk about it. Tebo, do you think this topic of discussion is relevant?
I think it is relevant. I think it is very relevant. I think the very reason why I felt like
we should change the topic. Is one of the very reasons why people cannot approach people with this kind of problems.
Yeah.
So I think that the importance of the topic like this can never be overestimated, because it's educative for people who need help or who are facing challenges. They can learn, and then they can have a way forward on how to go about it, to handle this kind of issues, to talk to people who are impacted by this kind of challenges, and to have a better society.
Okay, thank you so much. Let us also listen to the mother of the house. Amishira, how relevant is this topic to you?
The topic is quite relevant and quite timely. Some people, they don't know what it entails to have your personal hygiene or even environmental hygiene. They just know that when you get up in the morning, you take your bath and off you go. They don't know what else to do. Some people even get up in the morning, they don't take any bath, they don't brush their teeth, and off they are gone to the market, to the farm. So, and sometimes you may not even blame them, because they really don't know what to do.
Okay.
So this topic is very relevant. Let us try to inculcate that aspect of personal hygiene into people who really don't know.
Okay.
Let us teach them by this program. So the program is very, very good, and the topic is quite timely.
Okay, thank you so much. So it is an educative program,
Yeah.
and we're going to be as down to earth as possible, using day-to-day examples to talk on this program. Now, let us just look at what we consider to be basic personal hygiene, Madam Sarah.
Okay, basic personal hygiene, there are those practices which are necessary to keep your health good and to prevent diseases. Now, if you are not hygiene in nature, if you are that dirty, first it will affect your health, and it can even bring you more sickness than that. Is, you are inviting sickness to to yourself without you knowing. And at the end of the day, you start calling village people, whereas you are the cause. So there are those those healthy attitudes that we are supposed to live and maintain it, so that we prevent diseases from attacking us, our environment, our body, and neighbors and our friends, because you can inherit something from you through the inhygienic nature
of another person.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are those practices that we are supposed to. I like this saying that cleanliness is next to godliness, which is very true. Because if you are very clean, there are some things you are afraid doing them, and when you are afraid, when you are very afraid doing those things, you are drawing yourself closer to God. A clean person really is that person who is very smart in doing things. He will not get himself or herself dirty into some certain foolishness, because you always think of
some certain kind of action.
So there are those practices that we are supposed to. What are some of those practices? Like Mommy Shara was saying, that some persons do not know. But how can you get up in the morning and then you don't go and take your bath? You don't look for your toothbrush and brush your teeth, and you are just going that you are in a haste. You need to pick up these. You need to, all those things now accumulate and start forming illness in your body, and then when the thing goes inside, just imagine that you go off without brushing your mouth, without removing all those saliva that you slept with it, and then all those things, you are accumulating debt. From then now, you start having, sorry to say, toothache start coming in. Maybe debt has accumulated in one of those your teeth, and then you start having some of those pain. Now, if you don't clean yourself well, you start bringing sicknesses, diseases to yourself, and then you start spending more than just common toothbrush and toothpaste. That was just very minute for you to get, and then you take off those sicknesses that will come if you don't do those things. So when you get up in the morning, first thing you should do, at least throw water on your body, take take your bath, you should be clean. There are times when you're taking your bath, you see yourself, you see that God made you wonderful. You're wonderful. You're beautifully made.
I am wonderfully made.
You are wonderfully made. When you take your bath, you look at yourself, you say, God made a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
A handsome boy. But if all those things, people become very ugly these days without personal, when you don't have personal hygiene, ugliness comes to play.
Okay.
Yes. So those things prevent and makes you become a beautiful girl.
Okay.
Just imagine Madame Mira woke up without taking her bath, without putting this, without looking sharp. If she was very shabby, this beauty wouldn't
have come out.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Now let us talk to you. You want to add something?
No, just to add to what Mira said. She said cleanliness is next to godliness, which is very, very true. God is a clean being. That is why he made us in his own image and likeness. So you have to be clean. You have to be like God. Because if God made you, and it is said in the Bible that he made everything, he saw that it was good, and he brought it into being. So if you are not clean, if you don't feel clean and you don't look clean, then you are not God's child. So let us try to be like God himself, the way he made us.
You are God's child, but you are not acting like God's child. Okay, now Tebo, let us, Madam Sarah highlighted that basic personal hygiene means you have some certain practices, that routine practices that you have to carry out as a human being. So can you tell us about some of those practices?
Once again, good evening. I think that we are living in a society which is unfortunately is becoming too busy, and we are losing sight of some of these basic we used to learn these things like regular in primary school days. These are things that were basically taught at the elementary level. Things like, you know, that you have to wash your hands when you use the bathroom, you have to wear clean dress. I'm not talking about expensive dress, I mean
just clean dresses.
Clean dress. You have to trim your nails that they look good. You have to wash your hair clean. You have to brush your mouth twice in the morning and in the evening. Those are some of just basic hygienic lessons we were taught as we were growing up as kids, that you have to undertake on a daily basis in order to maintain a personal hygiene. Like mom said, because personal hygiene is actually related to environmental hygiene, because once you neglect to take care of personal hygiene, the whole environment becomes polluted because of one person, and as a result, which we are going to discuss down the road, you see that other people become infected, or they become affected, either become infected or affected by your negligence. Your negligence on taking care of personal hygiene. So some of these basic things are things that can easily be done, and they don't really require cost. You know, we are not saying that you should buy expensive spray. We are not saying that you should buy expensive roll-on. We are not saying that you should dress expensive. We are just saying that some of these, we are not saying that you should even afford expensive toothpaste. People were brushing their mouth in the days with salt.
Chewing stick.
So some of these things, charcoal, good. So some of these things, they are natural remedies that can be used, which cost you nothing. It just requires a lot of knowledge, it requires a lot of teaching, a lot of education on this aspect, because negligence on personal hygiene has a lot of tremendous negative effect, particularly health-wise, and in terms of the environment. Marriages have scattered because of lack of personal hygiene. Women are not happy that maybe a man A or B. Women are naturally the one always saying that men are not very hygienic. So most often, for the cases I've heard, it's mostly women complaining. So it is difficult. Friendships have been destroyed. Colleagues who are working at the same workplace,
you have been isolated.
You cannot talk comfortably among each other. They are talking and looking at the sky, and so it's kind of challenging. So I think that it's very important that we have to go back to these basics. We have to understand that some of these basic things, it doesn't really cost anything, but it costs everything in terms of our social integration in society with other people, for us to prioritize our personal hygiene, if not for the sake of good health, for the sake of other people around us.
Thank you so much. I just want us to look at some of those practices that you can pinpoint and say that this person is not really living a healthy life with respect to really carrying out this daily routine of taking care of their bodies and taking care of their environment. I'll talk to you, Mama Shira. What are some of those things that when you look at somebody, you can easily tell that this particular person is neglecting his or her personal hygiene?
You know, as we've already said, you know, when the dictionary tells us that hygiene is you know, it's intertwined with the hygiene of the environment. That's your personal hygiene. They are so related, so that you can hardly even separate them. As they tell us that hygiene is the degree to which people keep themselves or their surroundings clean. And this is in order to prevent disease, as we have already, all of us have said. You know, disease spreads fast in the presence of
dirt,
poor hygiene. So you need to keep your surroundings clean. You need to keep yourself clean. You know, when the body is dirty, or when your clothes are dirty, you know, in those days, I don't know whether lice even exist now, but we used to know. I don't know. I don't even think people know lice.
Lice and jigger.
Lice and
yes, lice and jigger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In those days, we used to enjoy, you know, looking at your hair and
picking it up, and then you kill.
The sound.
And press it in between your two.
sound.
Even the eggs. It made a sound that was rather pleasing to the ears. You know, you have jigger, and they need to carry your legs up and try to remove the jigger. It was so painful, but then you had to persevere, because of your dirty clothes, your dirty environment, your dirty beddings, you had
dusty environment too.
It had to reach an extent that you see a child in class, they can hardly study.
Yes, because the hair is always itching
and scratching. Then a child cannot move because the jigger in the legs is too much, so they can hardly even put down the legs. I'm sure people didn't see it.
I had yes. I made jigger and lice.
Then you have if you have a dirty mouth, that mouth smells. We call the odor in a medical language halitosis, means that your mouth is smelling. You can hardly talk to anybody. Everybody will want to keep away from you because of your smelling odor from the mouth. You can even lose your teeth, as Sarah had earlier said, because the dirt accumulates, the germs accumulate, and they spoil the teeth, so you can hardly even use your teeth. And then you also have painful gums. Your gums are so painful you can't even chew. I will call that in the medical language is gingivitis.
Wow.
Your gums hurt. You cannot. You even try not to brush. You cannot.
You cannot really brush.
So you have dirty nails, and still jiggers are entering your. We had children who had jigger in their fingers.
Yes.
So that made it so difficult. You know, you can also end up having intestinal worms, because you eat to the dirty fingers. The dirt is already accumulated in the nails. You eat, end up having intestinal worms, and that all those things, they are diseases. They are disease related. You can also have a diarrhea because of the dirt around you. Your surroundings or yourself, once you're dirty, there must be disease, and then you start now battling to treat the disease. You start battling to control yourself. You know. So I think personal hygiene and the hygiene of the environment are so important that we must inculcate those values into our personal lives.
Thank you so much, Mama. You have enumerated many of these lack of personal hygiene. We have talked about brushing of the mouth. Now, I want us to look at this, we call it, you say, bad breath. That's what generally it's called. I want us to look at it in details, because this is something that really turns off a lot of persons. I mean, almost everybody. There is nobody who would like to stay around you when you're having a bad breath. Now, let us look at, we have talked about when you don't brush your teeth, but I want us to look at it in details. How do you go about taking care of your mouth, Madam Sarah?
Madam Mira, the truth is, some persons, first of all, they are not certain that they have the bad breath. They don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But now, how do I always tell my children in class that, please, for you to know if you have a bad breath or not, struggle to
talk behind your hand,
and then you get the scent.
The smell.
When you get it, How can you work on it? You can work on it. That is when you accept. The truth is, in any situation, first of all, accept that condition and struggle to work on it. But if you don't accept it, you will not work on it. There are many things that we can do to help kill those things. First, medically, they can help you. Secondly, you make yourself, practice yourself to constantly be on toothbrush and toothpaste. If they are doing it, they say twice a day. Why not do it 3 times a day? And get this salt, because there are some natural things too that kill the bacteria that comes out from us. This salt, and a typical example that these days we will hear is charcoal, that we are neglecting it, but it helps a lot. I once saw an article on the power of charcoal. Yes.
And I've seen charcoal toothpaste, which tells us how significant it is.
Yes. These days, most often people use this charcoal toothpaste. It is 3,000 francs, the cheapest, to show you that the power of charcoal is so strong. If you get to know that you have this bad breath, use charcoal. Use those natural remedies. Attack it yourself. If you fight on it, you get your solution. But if you just say that there's nothing you can do, and you don't keep brushing your teeth, you just keep neglecting yourself, the thing accumulates, and the more you get, it is like first stage, second stage, and then third stage, you're getting to a level that it will be very difficult for you to handle. But when you start, now most of our parents these days, at first I know that parents, they are the ones to brush their children's teeth. After brushing, then they will say open your mouth. They'll get the scent that comes out from your mouth, from the child's mouth, and then they will struggle to. At first, during assembly in school, they'll go around checking the teeth
and your
nails. Do they do that these days? It is very difficult. They'll check the teeth. They'll go around. Show your nails. Show
with
your
a ruler.
With a ruler. Show your nails. Show your teeth. You show. From there, they start making you to know that it is as important, essential for you to always have low nails and brush your teeth, your mouth. And from there, you are killing the bacteria that wants to generate to form something. But these days, you don't know that child, maybe it is the nanny that was taking care of the child, preparing the child to come to school,
or the child is taking care of him or herself.
Everything is just done the way that they don't know, and we come to the teachers that we are there. We have gone past that. We don't even know that we are supposed to go back that level of checking the nails, checking the teeth, and the moment you check this child twice, and you discover that there is a particular
alert.
Yes, coming from this particular, you whip the child with that ruler. The first, the second day, the child will always have in mind that I am supposed to brush. Mommy, today I was disgraced or I was beaten because my teeth and my nails were dirty. I am supposed to. So when we get back to that level of checking, the parents too should be the ones strong. They should struggle to help the children brush. Okay, let us avoid children. What of adults? But you should not be an adult that you don't know that you are supposed to brush.
Thank you, Madam Sarah. I want to hear from you, Mr. Tebo. Have you had any experience of anyone with bad breath around you, and how did you feel?
Of course, I've had a couple of experiences. It is a very complex and difficult situation to handle, particularly when living in a society where people have different layers of processing information. So it can really be challenging to kind of come in and give information with respect to personal hygiene. Because by so doing, you are touching on people's ego, you are touching on people's private spaces, and I living in a world where we have a lot of human rights. People say my space, my body, my choice. So it's kind of difficult to intrude. So I had a particular case. I had a particular case recently. I don't want to go beyond that.
Exactly.
And it was quite challenging for me because this person was close to me, was very close to me, close to me, and we're together for some time. And I had this pungent mouth odor and body odor. I don't know whether they were both, but it was really pungent and kind of repelling. So I didn't really know what to do. First of all, the person was an elderly person to me, and then secondly, the person was
The social
the person's social status.
Yes, exactly.
Is somebody of
Standing.
yes in the society. so it was quite challenging. I talked to some people who were close to me and expressed worry, and some people were close to me. They had also discovered and realized. So we talk about it, and some people said, "Oh, just talk to him." Some people said, "No, maybe you just start by." Somebody proposed to me that maybe you just buy those basic toiletries and those basic things and give the person start from there. You know, some said that no, just confront the person. But at the end of that, I did not confront the person. I didn't do any of the proposal. I just because it was really challenging. So it is not easy, particularly with somebody that you don't have. Even with those you have informal relationship with
them.
It is really like your siblings, your friends, your spouse. It's kind of challenging, but with that it's manageable. You can discuss it with them. But with people you have just a formal relationship with, it can mar a relationship for good, because some people don't even want to accept the fact that they have a problem.
Yes.
And as a result, when you bring up that topic, you say you have insulted me. What do you want to claim? You want to claim that you are too clean.
Yes.
You say I'm. So it's kind of complex. So I think that maybe the women in the house will help, but I think that it's really difficult. How do we really approach this kind of situation? Is difficult.
It's really a difficult one. Mama Shira, what has been your experience so far?
Just as Nitebo has explained, it is horribly difficult. It's not only difficult, but it's horrible. Having to get somebody around you who has that mouth odor, who has body odor. First of all, we don't just say that the mouth odor is as a result of not taking care of the mouth. Yes, it could actually be a disease. Yeah, right from the stomach. So sometimes we may advise somebody to see a doctor, and that is going to solve the problem. But you know, before you even get to that stage, as Nitebo has said, it is not easy to confront somebody. Just to relate with your story, with your experience, I also had that experience, and this was an elderly person, high standing. How was I going to tell this person? I confronted an elder sister who is of high standing, but dead. It was not easy. We thought of what method we could use to get to this person. And she said maybe we could buy a deodorant and buy toothpaste, and then when you go, what do you tell her? She said that she doesn't have toothpaste and deodorant. And we ended up not doing anything. It is not
That
easy.
is where we find ourselves.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
not
where we
easy.
find
I say
ourselves.
it's not easy. Telling you come and tell somebody, your mouth is smell. How do you even start it? So it is really a very big problem, and until we overcome that, I don't think we are going to be able to break that barrier. Because I get up in the morning, I've taken my bath, I've brushed my teeth, I'm feeling good, I've put my makeup, and I'm looking flashy like mirror, and then you have to tell me that my mouth. How did you get there? And who tell? So it is just going to spoil that person's day. That the person's day is going to be completely ruined. The self-esteem that they had, you're going to lower it completely.
Exactly.
Their dignity, they are not going to feel. They will not feel comfortable for the whole of that day. So honestly, we have to find how to tell somebody that you have body odor or your mouth is
It's smelling. The one I see you're itchy. You want to say something?
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I was about adding that it's not just having them to be angry for that day. You might actually lose a relationship because of that. Yes, because the long-term impact, they start looking at you as an enemy. They start thinking that you are the one telling people that they have. So it is really complex, and we live in a. But I just think that in my opinion, I don't know. I think that in such circumstances, maybe you can you can outsource that to somebody who is closer to that
Closer to the person,
who might feel comfortable, because whether we like it or not, there are always people that can be
Others
ready
who
to tell
feel
you
comfortable,
anything, and
yeah.
you take it, and they don't know how to put it. They know your temperament, they know when they can give you bad news and good news.
Exactly.
So they don't know how to process that information. But I would really not advise that if you don't really have a kind of an informal or intimate relationship with somebody. You just, because you think you are a hygiene expert, you just telling them that you are not clean, you are not, because it is really a private thing. In as much as it's kind of a public health concern, it is really private. Like Mama was saying that some of them are actually suffering from an infection, and because an infection now is a health issue, it's a health related issue, and health is a very private thing. So it's like me telling you that
no, but don't you think that maybe they are suffering from that health situation? They don't know that they are suffering from that health situation.
I just want to come in here, Tibo. I will not agree with you when you say it's something really private, because yes, I'll agree with you on one hand, and on another hand, I'll disagree with you, because sometimes you really, when they say, like you said, show me your tip.
yes,
You see, you have fufu corn here, you see vegetable here, you see plantain somewhere here, and the person is looking so beautiful. You see a very beautiful girl. I'm sorry, Madam Sarah, my looks should not deceive you, because sometimes you see very pretty ladies, more prettier than I am, but you cannot stand their breath. You cannot, so when you see those things, you go for an occasion, someone has eaten and then is just talking anyhow, you even find it very difficult to tell that person that, hey, sister, please, can you remove something from your tooth? So it's a kind of, that one makes it very public. And you see a very handsome, I don't want us to limit it to the women, you see a handsome guy, well dressed, and then when the guy passes around you and just even smiles, you just feel like leaving that place without the person even greeting you.
I don't know.
You understand? So some of these things, I think that it's also a lack of consciousness on our part as individuals, because there is no way. I remember when I was growing up as a child, my mother would always tell me that even when you brush, use your tongue to feel your. Look at that. I said we're going to be discussing very practical things here today. Use your tongue to feel, and if you feel like you have something like crumbs, you just feel uncomfortable, go back and brush. I remember I was talking with my son the other day. He came back from school and he said, I want to drink juice. I said, fine. As he was talking, I noticed that I was not comfortable with the breath. I said, Junior, you have to go and brush. He said, Mommy, I brushed in the morning and I have to brush in the evening. I said, so what? So you cannot brush now? He said, no, my madam told me that you brush twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. So I mean, sometimes we brush twice a day, but when
you notice your
when that necessity comes as adults, we just brush as many times as you feel comfortable. And like you said, with the children, we focus on, have you brushed? Junior, yes, I've brushed.
Yes.
But if you look at the tongue, you see the first side of the tongue is clean. But go deep inside, it is horrible. And that is what we fail as parents to check our children for. And that is why some of us, even adults, we have that mouth odor. So we have to be very, very conscious when we are taking care of our mouth. You say, no, it's irritating because it gets to your throat. Yes, let it irritate you so that you can
be
clean. Don't just end at the front part of the mouth. Now let us go to body odor. Body odor is also one thing that it turns you off. It turns your partner off. It turns your friends off. It turns everyone.
Your community off.
Exactly. So I want us to look at some of those practical things that you will see, and you know that this person does not take care of him or herself, and that's why this person is having this body odor. Madam Sarah.
Madam Mira, there are some job description that you discover that these people, they have a problem with yourself, their body odor to sting. Just
Like,
look at people walking around the park. But it's not difficult. If you discover that you are this kind of person that you sweat a lot, make yourself available to bathe at least, let's say, for as regular as possible. Because the moment you start sweating, because there are some people that naturally they know how to remove sweat from their body. If you discover that after 4 hours you cannot resist, go take your bath. If you just make yourself, just practice it, rather than you moving with that sweat, with that smell,
and hugging people.
The whole place is just smelling. And if you know yourself too, struggle to get roll-on. The spray and these things, they are not that expensive. Now you have taken your bath, good. You are going for a long journey. You know that maybe this journey cannot carry you without that sweaty nature and every other thing. Put roll-on on yourself so that you prevent those smelling scent that people start getting in the car, around your community and all the like. You see somebody moving, dust, sweat, everything. Then how would they come? Because you are polluting the environment. So know yourself and know how to work on it. If I know that I am that kind of person that sweats constantly, I should be able to. No, the first thing is accepting yourself, accepting your condition, and struggle to work on it. But if you don't accept it, you keep the dirtiness in you, and the thing keep generating more sickness in you without you knowing. How can somebody take a dress and repeat it today, tomorrow, and the next day? You want to 10 in the morning, you are seeing that person with that dress. In the evening, you are seeing that person with that same dress. The next, especially men, they are fond of this.
Let me just cut you short. You see a guy wonderfully dressed, suit. You admire the suit as straight as you used to call it, whether it's super sam or super what. But if you look at the collar of the shirt inside, you will not want to eat. Sorry, I had to cut you.
Yes. The repeating dress, today you just sleep and then you continue. Tomorrow, I no get chance, Master Majo continue. That's being dirty. That's that, like Mr. Tibo was saying, they cannot be too expensive, but dress neat. You should be neatly dressed. The things are not even that expensive. Remove dresses from your body. Always struggle to change. There are people that will, especially men, they will repeat boxers for 1 week. They are still on it.
That's a direct attack on my
I think that we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
It is not about changing dresses at times. It's about ensuring that what you wear is clean.
Yes.
You want to wear the same dress 1,000 times, ensure that it is clean.
You wear dress 1 week which is clean.
Yes, you can, depending on what you do and how you go about your activities and how you manage it. Because people don't have unlimited resources. People, we live in a relatively struggling country where people, a dress to some people is a luxury, whether you like it or not. So you can, we should be able to let people know that you can have 3 dresses and you manage them and dress clean and keep personal hygiene.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a wardrobe of dresses before you maintain personal hygiene. So it is important. It's better to teach a child that you can dress. When you go out, you don't have too many dresses. Don't play too much, because you play, a dress will be dirty. So you can come back, you can sun that dress so that tomorrow you use the dress and it's still clean. But if the dress is dirty, you have to wash it before you wear it. So we have to be clear with that.
Let me just compliment that, and I think Mami CWA2 will support me on that. Okay. Most of our cabas, when we wear them, we don't wash them as regular as
possible. For so many reasons, maybe you don't want it to fade away, and to preserve the quality and so on. So you can manage it. So when you have those type of dresses, there's a way you wear them and you carry yourself so that, because you know that you will not wash these dresses too often. If not, it will worn out and you might not use it again. So you can use it so many times, and of course you'll be clean. But apart from that, when you asked the question initially about what are those things you can see, dirty dresses, dirty nails, particularly nails on the leg.
Exactly.
It is so dirty socks. Eczema on the body. You see, the scabies. So the skin diseases and so on. when you look at those are things that most often than not they are directly caused by unhygienic tendencies that we carry out. So when you look at some of those things, you can easily see that this person, the body odor from this person probably is coming because of lack of hygiene. And most often people think that being hygienic is to wear a beautiful suit, but you are dirty inside.
Exactly.
You must be clean from within and without.
Yeah.
Your socks has to be clean.
Your
inner wear has to be
Innerwears.
clean. Your pants or your boxer has to be clean. So that you are clean. Because even if you wear a suit and you are not clean inside, you will still radiate that body
that
odor
body
and will
odor.
still be repellent to other person. So when you look at some of these things from a distance, somebody is just approaching you, just from the physical look of that person, you see that this person is physically not well.
Yeah.
Person is sick.
Thank you, Tebo. I'm going to compliment that, but I want to hear your voice, Mami
Just to
Shira.
add to what they've been saying, you know, you said we should open up everything.
Everything should be opened up today.
Yes. There are some people, they actually take the bath, but they don't know how to bathe.
Perfect.
Exactly.
They don't know how to bathe. Because there are certain parts of the body which need to be scrubbed to keep them clean. And that's why it's necessary to have your bathing sponge. Very, very necessary. You get in the morning, just throw water on your body, you within 2-3 minutes. I mean, I get very, very, I just don't know what to say. But sometimes I imagine you are sitting with a neighbor, they go into bathe. Within 5 minutes, you are out of the bathroom. Did you even bathe? Did you actually bathe? I begin to wonder. Because there are some parts which you need to really scrub. If you don't open your armpits and scrub them, especially the armpits that are hairy, and that's why sometimes we need to shave our armpits so that the environment is clear. You can easily take your bath. You need to scrub your armpits. You need to, like we the women, you need to scrub under your breast. You need to scrub the perineum. Mr. Tebo, don't look you need to scrub your perineum because it is hairy and the hair harbor a lot of dirt. So you need to scrub it. All those parts which have folds for us the women. All those parts which have fold, you need to open those parts and clean them up, scrub them, you know, because if you don't, they harbor dirt and they harbor sweat, and no matter how much you wash, if you don't scrub those places, you still have that body odor. So we have to be very careful the way we take our bath, and those hairy areas, sometimes we need to shave.
Very
you should shave to be able to keep out the dirt and the body odor. So when you go into the bathroom, you just throw water on your body, and within 2-3 minutes you're out of the bathroom. You have done nothing. You need to spend at least 10 minutes in the bathroom to show that you've actually taken your bath.
Sometimes you even spend 20 minutes and come out, you still have you have still done nothing. So like you have said, Mama, I think that like you have said, we just need to be more conscious when we are taking our bath. Which are those areas that we, just like when you're washing dresses, there are specific areas where exactly they always teach you your armpits, your hand, the neck, the edge of your dress. So that is just like our bodies, the armpits. I don't know what some people, the pleasure some men and women derive from keeping hairs as if they want to play rasta. Not only in their armpits. We are not seeing the other parts. Birds.
The private parts.
Exactly. We are not seeing them, but from the odor you can get. The truth is that even sometimes when you sit as a woman or as a man and you have sweated for so long, you open your legs, you get a particular
Although that comes out from
we are just being practical, whether you like it or not. The worst is when you have been wearing boxers, like Madame Sarah said. You have been wearing one boxers for 1 week, and the women, what we call, is this cyclist or collang? And they are always black in color. You wear it for as long as you can. You sweat, and you think that because you have put on your pants inside and then you are putting on the collang is fine. But no, you wear that collang for Monday you wear, Tuesday you put it on, Wednesday, Thursday. How will you not have body odor? Even the bra that we put on. Ladies, we have to be we must be sensitive to these things, even the bras that we put on. And unfortunately for us, if you go to the market, most of these bras, they are colors. You have black, brown, a few will be red, very few will be white. How many of us go for the white bras? I know sometimes because of the dresses we put on, we will not want to go in for these bright, very bright colors. We want to go in for the dark colors. But you and I know, when you neglect taking care of those things, put your bra in water. Just put it in water for 10 minutes and see the water. Just look at the water. You yourself, you sit in your quiet place and you say, chai. Just the brownish nature of the water. You wear your bra Monday, same bra. Tuesday, same bra, and you're sweating. Wednesday, same bra, and you don't even have the odor. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying, Madam Sarah, because it is very common.
Yes.
You see, I am beautifully dressed. I know that I'm beautifully dressed.
You are.
But I hug you. You cannot stand my presence because of what is inside of me. I remember our parents will always tell us, bring Daya in Awe Masiam. And yes, you wear one innerwear from Monday to Friday. How manage? And you spoke about the toes. A man can remove his shoes and the whole house disappears. It's terrible. It is really terrible. You see, only when daddy comes home and sits, removes the shoe and put the leg on the table, you see children start leaving. Or sisters, you ask yourself, is it because they are afraid of daddy? No, it is because of that smell that comes from your toes. So we have to be very conscious when it comes to that. And the women are here, I want them to talk. I've been talking too much. This wig that we wear, Madam Sarah, I want you to talk about the wigs.
You don't have a wig.
I'm telling you. Seriously, I used to know that they used to treat it. But how often do we treat this wig that we put it on? Every day we just carry and put on. Every day we just carry. The truth is, you see a lady scratching.
You even slap. The hair as if you are hitting.
It is because of the dirt which they have accumulated there
over time
on that wig on their head. I'll tell my children in class, if you want to be neat, be neat. If you are doing your hair, which is normal bakala, struggle that you do it, and even if you cannot do it weekly, come brush it.
Yeah, let it be neat.
Let it be
wash
neat.
it.
Wash it, and then put oil on it. I told them I'm keeping low hair, but every week I struggle to go and know that my hair is washed. Then you are putting with, I'm sure they wash it too, Madam Mira. I'm not versed with it.
Yes.
Then the people are just carrying every day. You just pick. Just pick. Just let us learn to also wash them. Let us learn to also treat them, because the dirt that is in this wig that they are putting on their head too is another big trouble. You see, people are not comfortable sitting in an occasion. They will scratch, they will knock, they'll even remove. When it's too much, they will remove, because the thing is not comfortable. The dirt there is just too much, plus the nature of it. Some are too big, and then accumulating dirt, and they put it on their head with too much sweat and everything thought in their head. Then becomes a whole lot of load on them. So let us learn to treat them. Once in a while, take all those your wig, take them to salon, wash them, treat them, give them a good treatment, bring them back home. Then you see how light your trouble too on your head will be.
You have something to say.
Honestly, thank God I don't like wigs, and I hardly wear them. I have some at home, the expensive ones, but to be honest with you, I don't wear them. But give it out now. How am I going to give it out, all that money that I spent just hanging there? I don't like wigs at all. And then you see some people with rastas. They call it now what? These are dreadlocks and all the rest. My goodness, dreadlocks, especially for the men. It is just horrible. Look at somebody's hair and you begin to wonder if for the past 6 months that hair has seen water. and they call it dreadlocks. The man sits beside you, and you just feel like running away. In fact, I let me just shelve that thing of wigs. I traveled at one time, and when we stop a cab and enter, the odor, it's only one driver. The driver is in that cab all alone, but the odor, when they open their mouth and talk, Jesus Christ, my son will struggle to talk with them in their vernacular. I say, Papa, I beg you, don't talk, don't let this man not talk, because the odor in the vehicle was horrible. And I said, is it that, do they eat rats or cockroaches, or what is really the problem? I could not understand, but I'll beg my son. I said, please don't talk, because the halitosis was unbearable, and all the windows are up. Have you ever entered a vehicle at night? These vehicles that travel at night, maybe say from here to Bamenda,
and they have to close all the windows.
All the windows are closed. Somebody sits at the window and will not want to open the window. You can just die in that vehicle. And I'll shout and talk. What else can you do? Okay, you better wear a nose mask now if you don't want to get the odor. But I'm just advising that, especially the women, if we have to travel, please take your bath in the evening. Change your pants, change your inner wear before you enter the vehicle, so that you don't suffocate other people with bad odor.
Thank you so much, Mama. I think we have also been saying that the hair is also one part of the body that brings up body odor, because you have accumulated sweat. Sometimes these wigs that we put them on for months upon months, and you sweat there, you have makeup there, it smells. That's the truth, it smells. And our friends cannot really tell us that, hey Mira, that your wig, it's not really, you see, Tebo will just look at me and say, you look good, but the wig is, so we must, yes, as we have said, it's really challenging for us to approach people, to talk to them about this issue of hygiene, and that's why we have brought it to the table today, so that we can talk on a general basis. But when it comes to personal, talking to an individual, it's very challenging, but we have to do that at home. Let us just look at the consequences of poor personal hygiene. I know Tebo mentioned that relationships have been broken because of poor personal hygiene. Tebo, can you say more on that?
Yes, I think the consequences are many, apart from the fact that it takes away your public confidence and the way you interrelate with people around you. Another major consequence is that it's coming along with the health risks, or with some health risks. You know, you can have bacterial infection, you can have viral infections, you can you can develop skin diseases like eczema and the rest, which of course can be detrimental to your own personal health. Another very important consequence,
yes,
another very important what?
The consequences
of lack of personal hygiene is the social aspect of it, which I think that erupts you, that confidence, that ego, that sociability, which is very important for your survival, for whatever you do, whether it's business, whether it's work, whether it's friends, whether it's at home, and so on. So I think that it is very important that we take personal hygiene and environmental hygiene very seriously. It is as important as our life is important. It is because this is what determines who we are. This is what determines who stays with us, who is comfortable with us. And even if you don't care about yourself, at least you should care about those who are around you. Because some people don't love themselves. That's why some people commit suicide, right? So they don't like themselves. But for the sake of others, sometimes we just have to make that conscious decision to take those personal measures and live a hygienic lifestyle.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Sarah. Briefly, can you just talk to us how you think we can promote personal hygiene at home?
Madam Mira, the first thing is do those basic things which are necessary. In the morning, you know that you're supposed to take your bath. And like Mama Shira was saying, do it the proper way, not just because it is a must that you should do it well. Take your bath. Ask yourself question, am I good? If because the truth is, like we are saying here, like Mr. Table was saying, that it can destroy relationship.
Yeah.
But for someone that wants to improve, that wants to learn, that wants to be better, it is good to pick your error and then tells you that this is what we think it should be, or this is what we think you are facing. Then I work on it, rather than just allowing me and then I'm dying without me knowing. Because some people are just there, they are just flying, they don't know that they have those situations. But it is good we tell them. But let us struggle on our own part to start by keeping those personal hygiene nature. Keep your environment clean, keep yourself clean, make sure that you are good to go, make sure that where you talk you have confidence. Because before you approach the public, sit within you, ask yourself, and examine yourself. You can best examine yourself before you approach the public, so that you know that there are some things lacking. You are supposed to work on this, you are supposed to do this. But let us struggle, let us try. Even if it is for you to brush 4 times or 5 times a day, do it
as many times as necessary.
Yes, do it. If that will kill the bad breath in you, even if it's for you to do those things that will kill those body odor, do them, so that people should be comfortable around you.
And you should be comfortable with yourself.
With yourself.
Yes,
you should be comfortable with yourself.
Thank you so much.
Just to add up with what she has said, you should be an example yourself. You don't tell the children brush your teeth and you are not brushing your own teeth. So you should be a role model for the children to emulate.
Okay.
Also, I think that you should share the house chores. You'll take care of sweeping the house in the morning. You take care of the dishes, and you share the chores, and then you make sure that you
follow up.
Supervise. You follow up. Because if you don't follow up and somebody doesn't wash the dishes, of course the sink will be full of dishes, and it makes the kitchen very, very dirty.
Nasty.
So you should share the house chores, and then you make sure that you follow up to be sure that your instructions have been carried out. And then you should endeavor to supply the materials. If you want the children to wash their clothes, they should be clean.
There should be soap.
There should be soap for them to use. You don't just tell the children you should wash your clothes and then the soap is not there. Even we should have detergents in the toilets, even in the kitchen. All those materials should be there, so that if anybody doesn't do their job, it is that they are lazy, and you should punish. Don't just follow up without meting out the punishment. If a child hasn't washed their dishes, you should flog them, give them some small beatings, so that they will know that next time I have to do it. And then I think that's about all concerning that.
Thank you so much, Mama Shira. I also want to add my voice to say that at home, let us feel free. Let our children, our siblings, our husband and wife, we should feel free to discuss personal hygiene. You should be able to tell your wife, Mom, how is my breath? My mom always taught me that. Come on, how is my armpit? Am I having any odor there? Because it is better for those who are around you, those who truly love you, who are at home, to tell you that you have a bad breath, to tell you that you have body odor. And when you do that, when you are comfortable talking about it, when your daughter passes or your son passes, say, hey, come here. What are you putting inside? Did you change your boxers? Let me see your tongue. Let me see your armpit. Did you shave? And one of the things too that which we can use to help us, like you said earlier, use these deodorants. It's very important, but use them on a clean surface.
Exactly.
Not on a dirty armpit.
Because it gets the odor even more pungent.
Exactly. So when you have hairs all grown, it is advisable to shave, because sometimes your hairs are grown and then you start seeing something whitish or brownish there, and you think that maybe it's a style. It's no style. That's dirt. Because when dirt accumulates on hair, it is sometimes difficult for it to be removed. So it's good for us to shave and always discuss this, especially with our girls. Please let us talk to our girls, because we see young children these days, the odor that comes out from their body, it is even worse than that of elderly women like us. So we have to call our children to order, tell them what it means to take care of their bodies. And I will not forget the nursing mothers. Sometimes, you know, children are very, very attractive. You see a child, maybe in church, you want to carry that child, you carry the child. But only the smell that comes out from that baby's body, you will be so disappointed. You look at the neck of the baby, it's all dirt. You look at the hair in front, it's all. So we have to be very conscious about this personal hygiene. We want to say thank you so much. It's a topical topic.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are happy that we have discussed it in public, and we'll be coming up with such topics like this so that we educate ourselves and the community better. Thank you so much, Mami Shira. Thank you, Mbatebo, for being with us today. And thank you, Madam Sarah, for sharing with us your wealth of knowledge. And we say thank you to all our technicians and to the audience. Take another rendezvous with us again next week, Friday at 5 p.m. on Divine Mercy Radio Television. Until we meet again, we are wishing you just the best. Goodbye.